Captain's Log Supplemental. I don't know why I thought that maybe this would go okay, but my first officer drudged up some kind of ancient Earth tradition called a Secret Santa. And, it seemed like fun. Everyone would have some time to kind of cut loose while we're exploring this nebula. But it didn't go well almost immediately because, of course, the Vulcans didn't want to participate. And then one of the Vulcan officers asked that if they do participate, they would like to only receive other Vulcans because then they weren't going to receive any gifts at all because logically they would just give each other the same thing. I don't know. It was a whole thing. And then, of course, Ensign Mayweather ended up in the sick bay after one of our Klingon ensigns delivered his present, a very nice ceremonial dagger, by throwing it at the ensign without his knowledge. I don't even know why, but I'm going to go ahead and open mine here. And that's apparently our Ferengi officer had me, and he has given me a coupon to his store. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody, to Captain's Log Supplemental. As always, we are a Star Trek rewatch podcast cruising through in timeline chronological order through all of Star Trek, rewatching every single episode. As always, I am joined by co-hosts Rob.
As always.
Stanford.
Ho, ho, ho.
And Mariah.
Hi there.
So you guys hear about this drone thing that's been going on for, it's gonna be like almost a couple weeks now, right? Over New Jersey.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I did see the little diagram that Rob posted in the chat, and I laughed my ass off. But I genuinely have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you were in for a treat, sir.
Okay, so for a couple weeks now, there's been reports of drones, unidentified drones, flying over the coast, mostly New Jersey. It's actually expanded to New York, and there's been sightings in Virginia and stuff.
Yeah, I saw DC this morning.
Yeah, and nobody knows, including our government, where they are from. They have no idea. The FBI has come out and said, we don't know what they are. We don't know whose they are. We don't know where they're from. They're not ours.
What kind of drones?
Yep, exactly. Nobody fucking knows. There's it's got docking lights on it, so it's not like aliens.
Well, I mean, they could be just very polite aliens.
So here's the thing, Stanford. If you go online on Reddit and you look for pictures of these things, they're blurry in that way that every Sasquatch picture throughout history is blurry. So, at one point, somebody posted a picture on an astronomy subreddit, and it was clearly just Venus, Venus
the has been
just
bright
in the sky.
As fuck this last 2 weeks.
Yes, but that's the point. Is everybody's just all a tizzy right now.
Right. So I think there's definitely some drones there, but also because it became a national news story,
right. Now
everybody is calling, it's been gone. The FBI doesn't know it. The government has no idea about it. They don't know where they're from.
It's funny that you mentioned this because earlier today I saw a drone fly over our backyard. It was weird because it had feathers and was flapping the whole time.
But
see, that's a drone with wings.
That's a squawking drone, yeah.
Well, birds aren't real, so
Mm-hmm.
Also true. Yeah,
but no, supposedly, the accredited sightings of these, they're large drones, single wing UAV type or fixed wing UAV type drones, supposedly. But the government has said, they're not a danger. They don't know what they are, but they're confident they're not dangerous. Which doesn't add up to me.
Look. We don't know what it is, but you're fine. It could be literally anything, but don't worry about it.
I had some TikTok video I was watching. He's that's if you came home and your wife was cooking dinner, then there's just some random guy just standing in your kitchen. You don't know who he is. You ask your wife, who's this guy? And she's like, I don't know. He's not going to hurt you, though. He's fine.
He's fine.
He's It just doesn't add up. And like, there was talk of like some type of like Iranian quote unquote mothership of these drones off the coast that has been debunked since.
Yeah,
like,
by U.S. congressmen.
Yeah, like the government officials are weighing in, like for the fucking like New Jersey governor and everything. They're pissed off because the federal government doesn't really seem to be taking it seriously. They're basically at this point said, you guys are just making this shit up. It's fine. You're not seeing what you're seeing. Don't worry about it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. No, I haven't heard about this at all. Most of my newsfeed has been Luigi.
Yeah, well, he's up there too. But yeah, it's been gaining steam the last week or so, it seems like.
Interesting.
So I was going to ask you if you'd seen any drones.
Well, other than that feathered one earlier, nah. No, so we're doing this podcast. It's gonna release Monday before Christmas, and Christmas is on a Wednesday this year. So this was like actually this weekend we were doing the Christmas cookies. Now, Chris, you are aware of our Christmas cookies.
Oh yeah.
You've received 2 years of Christmas cookies so far, right?
At least 2, maybe 3.
Yeah. Okay. So before we started talking, we were talking about these cookies as we were kind of getting our stuff set up. And I made the joke that Chris wasn't getting any. And then Mariah pointed out that I worked very hard to make sure that Chris got some. And I just want to say that, like, Chris, the only reason you got cookies last year was because I fucking fought for you.
I love you.
And I love you too. But, like, genuinely, Chris, 2 reasons. 1, because, like, dude, like, of all the people in my life, like, I talk to you every fucking week. You deserve some fucking cookies. But 2, like, you actually take the time to, like, talk about the cookies and compliment them and shit. And, like, Mariah's I don't know if I think we're going to be short a box, so Chris isn't getting anything. I'm like, fuck you, he's not getting any. There was, like, a 20-minute discussion in which, like, and I won. Like, I probably had to forfeit some fucking spouse credit in order to get these cookies for you, but god damn it, you were getting fucking cookies last year.
No, the first time I argued, it was the first year because I didn't know.
No, because I remember using the argument that Chris is the only one who actually complimented all of our cookies. So this was definitely like year 2 or 3 that this happened.
And look, we spend 3 days baking cookies, and every year, Amy and I are like, I don't think there's enough cookies.
There were so many goddamn cookies.
And every year, because we fill up a freezer bag. I fill up a freezer bag of
2 freezer bags
in the
for
freezer,
us, yeah.
and then I bring it out Christmas Eve so the cookies will thaw and we'll have them for Christmas Day. And it's my favorite thing to have this menagerie of cookies on my Christmas cookie tray. And we have boxes that we give to friends and stuff. And every year I'm like, it's not enough cookies. And then I go to fill up 1 freezer bag and there's still too many cookies. And I was like, I'm going to fill up a second bag.
We had 13 types of cookies this year.
13.
Damn.
Was it 13
So
or
many
14?
cookies.
Yes, it's 13.
Yeah. I made 5 different types of cookies and Amy made 6.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's 14 then with my Rice Krispies is the added, and then Shelby too, yeah.
And last year, both of us made 7 different types of cookies and agreed that was too many.
So you doubled it.
No, 7 each.
7 each.
Oh, okay.
So no, they stayed about the same actually. Yeah, so so your box is like the first one that gets filled now because I'm like, you're
so
goddamn
excited.
right, Chris is getting fucking cookies.
Hey, I bake. I give people things. I know how important it is to hear how much you liked the thing you got.
Can you tell every fucking buddy else? Jesus.
Is that why I'm not getting a box this year?
No,
you're be at our house.
Yeah, you're not getting a box. Everyone who shows up to Christmas Day gets
cookies.
Mariah's fucking tray of cookies, so they don't get boxes of cookies. Which is too bad because yesterday I was eating extra cookies, which was fucking fantastic, but I ate too much and felt I had some tummy troubles, but like I muscled through. But today I'm like, man, I could really go like hair of the dog. Like I could really go for a fucking cookie, but there weren't any available.
Like I really could go for a cookie.
Oh man, now I want a cookie. I'm so excited. I'm looking.
Yeah, I will. I will UPS them, so they should be there in a couple of days. I can get them in the mail.
Yeah, and the mailman appreciates the cookies as well. He does get very excited.
Our trash guy likes them too.
Can I tell you the one more thing about the cookies?
Oh, yes.
So we have some neighbors that we know who they voted for.
Oh, no.
So I thought about not giving them cookies. But then I decided to decorate my gingerbreads in what I like to call my microaggression rainbow gingerbread cookies.
Excellent.
So the gingerbreads are wearing rainbow sweaters.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so when they open up their box, the first thing they'll see is a rainbow sweater wearing gingerbread.
Perfect.
They're just going to burn the whole box.
That's fine.
Just throw the gingerbread men in the trash. Oh, God.
Run it over with a lawnmower.
They'll
Set
call
it
it by
on
the wrong
fire.
pronoun.
Oh, you know what? Next year, honey, we should do like sugar cookies that are like shaped like pigs, and we'll put little cop uniforms on them.
Perfect. Oink, oink. All right. Well, before we get into it, as a reminder, please rate, review, subscribe, whatever platform you're consuming the podcast on. Do all those things for it, and tell your friends. It helps us a lot. Okay.
So
Today's episode.
I did not take
Go ahead.
notes on today's episode, so we're gonna fucking do it live.
Fuck it. We'll do it
Great.
live. All right. Today's episode is episode 10 of season 4 of Enterprise, Daedalus. Which, I feel like they named it that because, they much like the entirety of Enterprise are aren't sure that their audience is gonna understand.
I gotta be
But I
honest,
digress.
yeah, I mean, I guess I get why it's called Daedalus, but also it was a dumb title.
Yeah. All right. So we open with a little West Wing opening as Archer and Trip are walking down corridors in Enterprise. It was very it wasn't the normal walking down a corridor shots either, which is why I commented it's a West Wing thing because it was static camera. It wasn't following them.
Yeah.
Or, it was. I don't think I'd seen them do it that way before, which like I said made me note it. But they're walking through the corridors, on their way to the transporter room to welcome the inventor of the transporter, Dr. Emery Erickson.
Douche.
Yeah, the doctor and his daughter, Danica, seem to know Archer pretty well when they get there. Welcome him, kind of say hi to him as an old friend. Apparently, they're going to be doing some type of transporter experiment with Enterprise. Archer kind of says the thing in a log and mentions power has been reduced across the ship except for essential areas in preparation for the experiment. Trip and T'Pol chat in a kind of mood-lit mess hall, where Trip tries to have a conversation about the recent events with Vulcan and everything with T'Pol, but she is just not feeling it and does not want to talk about anything with him as far as Vulcan goes.
So
She's
I'm gonna stop you real quick because I want to go
Yep.
back one scene. I want to compliment Enterprise, which I do not do very often. Because they put Dr. Erickson, is that his last name?
Mhm.
They put
Yeah.
Dr. Erickson in a wheelchair, but didn't make a fucking big deal out of it, which was
that's true.
surprising. And I am in a wheelchair. I know how people act about people in wheelchairs. It's fucking awful. But I also know how shows like to put people in wheelchairs. So the fact that even little things like Archer went up and hugged him and there wasn't a big deal made out of it or anything like that, that is something you don't see even today very often on camera. So to see it in 2003 was surprising.
Hold on just a second.
Okay. I'm on the edge of my fucking seat here.
Your cookies just showed up.
What? That's fucking temporal UPS.
Future you send it as a message to prove to past you that time travel is real.
Man, I could have sent so many better messages.
Hey, sorry about that.
That's all right. You good?
Yeah, kids are just knocking on the door, so.
Is Lauren not home tonight?
She is,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But they want to just say goodnight before they went to bed.
Sure. So anyway, so it was actually surprisingly nice to see that he's just in a wheelchair, but it didn't really matter at all. It wasn't his character per se.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's true. Whenever they shows do like to make that the character when they do that.
Right.
So,
Right, which Star Trek has
Yeah.
done on that one DS9 episode.
mm-hmm.
You know what my favorite part of that scene was?
What's that?
So it's right before Dr. Erickson shows up when Trip was like straightening his uniform out, and Archer turns to him and goes, "You want a mirror?"
Oh yeah. Yeah, Trip really, because this guy's an engineer, so Trip's really like, excited to meet him. Yeah.
Yep. So we cut to a very crowded captain's mess as Trip, T'Pol, and Archer host the Ericksons. The Doctor discusses his plans for long range transporter technology. He says, it just may put ships out of business. You're going to need starships with long range transporters.
That doesn't make any sense.
It does not make any sense. Nope. No, how are you going to get there in the first place?
That's the thing, because he's like, you disappear on a pad here and show up on a pad in Vulcan. It's like, yeah, but like there aren't pads on the planets we haven't been to yet, asshole. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Yep. We find out a little bit more about their kind of past relationships. Apparently, Dr. Erickson was very good friends with Archer's dad, and the kids grew up together. Archer mentions he'd, given the choice, he'd much rather use a shuttle pod still. Dr. Erickson discusses kind of the various protests and objections about the transporter when it first came around, the old ship Theseus debate and are you the same person when you arrive? Or
I don't like how callously they disregarded that shit.
Yeah, right.
I have in my notes, this dude is Stanford's worst nightmare.
They cut to the transporter room where Erickson talks about his first experience with the transporter and how it took like a minute and a half to like rematerialize once he transported. He said it. He felt being taken apart and put back together and puked and got drunk afterwards the first time.
Thank you.
Yeah. Nope. No, thank you, sir. Trip wants to Trip and Erickson are working on upgrades or whatever, and Trip wants to look at Erickson's power converter that he's planning to install to boost the power of the transporter, so he can work on modifying the system and everything. And initially Erickson politely refuses, and then not so politely refuses afterwards after Trip insists and kind of pulls his weight as far as being assigned by Starfleet to do the experiment and having full access to Enterprise's systems.
I found the caginess here to be a little ham-fisted, throughout the episode.
Yeah, I agree. I think Erickson's character in general was very ham-fisted.
Yeah. I don't disagree. It was too bad because the actor is actually an accomplished actor. He's been in lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But
Phil Cobbs, I think, right?
Yeah, Phil Collins. Yeah, the guy who did In the Air Tonight.
Coming in the Air Tonight.
What?
I didn't hear what name you said, but it sounded like you said Phil Collins.
That's what I heard.
His name like Bill or Will Cobbs.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that's not Phil Collins at all.
I heard Phil Collins just the same as you did, so I don't know.
Yeah, Bill Cobbs. That's his name.
Yeah. I remember!
Yep. Sorry, I lost my spot here.
Trip's like, hey, don't do shit to my ship. And Steve Erickson's like, nah, fuck you, Dick.
Yeah, I'm going to do it anyway. All right, so then we cut to Danica, Erickson's daughter, chatting with Archer in engineering. They kind of talk about, here we learn about how the Erickson's son, Quinn, was lost, although they're not specific in how initially. And she mentions, she's staying with her dad and helping her dad out ever since that happened to kind of, I guess, keep him controlled and sane and everything, which apparently she didn't do a great job of.
I will point out that, Danica, that's her name, Danica and Archer are supposed to be, the same age, but yes. Danica's actor is clearly at least 15 years younger than Bakula.
Yeah.
Not even remotely close.
Nope. So, they're hoping the test will help him move on. Which was all bullshit, but because we learn in the Erickson's quarters, Danica administers some type of injection to Dr. Erickson
to his gross spine thing.
Gross ass back. Yeah.
I hate a man, and maybe it's just because of my various experiences, but when I already don't like injections in spines, that freaks me the fuck out. But to make it the weird ass, weird twisted
melted back
gross spine, I was like, oh god, don't do that.
Yep. Danica's in a bad mood because of them bullshitting the entire crew of Enterprise and Starfleet. Dr. Erickson says the crew wouldn't be on their side even if they told him what was up, and it's it's what they need to do.
Which
she is.
I don't understand how he came to that conclusion.
I also don't understand that, but yeah. We cut to the armory where Reed and some rando guy who's definitely not going to die immediately.
Oh my god!
Sees some type of distortion.
I was like, disposable.
Who the fuck is this guy? He is so dead.
Yeah. Weapons out. They go looking for whatever is causing this distortion. Some wavy distortion attacks red shirt guy as expected, and oh fuck, his face melted.
Fucks up his face. His face is like you can imagine the worst. Like Mel Gibson's face in The Man Who Had Half a Face or whatever, but like on its
like three
side
times bad,
and on the whole face.
Yeah, real bad. So that guy's definitely dead.
Man with no face.
The crew talked to the Ericksons afterward, and it seems the effects were from a large amount of delta radiation. Erickson plays dumb and says he never saw anything like that.
He's like, this place is buried, Captain. I don't know what you're talking about. And the captain's I have a melted face crew member who begs to fucking differ, or at least he would, except he's dead as shit. And he's like, that's your opinion. Like that's like the whole conversation. Bye. Yeah. Back spasm. See ya.
Yeah. We cut to Danica, who is very upset, obviously, for obvious reasons, and says they're responsible for the guy dying. Yes, you absolutely are. Erickson says she is condemning him to death, obviously in this case referring to Quinn. Erickson insists that Quinn is still alive. He says the odds of someone dying again are very small if they continue. Just infinitesimally small.
What are you talking about?
It won't happen again at all. I mean, we're definitely looking for this thing that melted that guy's face, but no, it's definitely not going to happen.
We don't know what the drones are, but they're not going to hurt you.
Exactly.
Listen, he was only one out of billions of humans. What are the odds?
So in the transporter room, Dr. Erickson takes the controls himself for the test from Trip. They beam some test object 40,000 kilometers, which apparently nothing has ever gone that far by transporter. Instead of celebrating, he just wants to, quote-unquote, monitor the data as it comes in. Trip at this point is clearly suspicious of Dr. Erickson. He then goes to see Archer in his quarters and tell him about his suspicions. He says the upgrades Erickson had him do were to keep him from seeing what he is actually working on. They were basically doing nothing. They created some feedback loop for power. They didn't actually upgrade anything. Archer says he also found out that something similar with face melting had happened on Erickson's ship before. So he lied about that. T'Pol calls in after that and says another disturbance is on C deck, and they all go to check it out. Well, T'Pol and I guess was it Trip?
No, Archer.
Oh, no, it was Archer. That's right.
Yeah. Archer goes.
I saw a random Mako, so I assumed he was gonna die this time. He didn't.
Nope.
Archer and T'Pol, however, are trapped in some room by the entity, and T'Pol's hand does get melted a bit here.
Just lightly melted.
Lightly melted. Yeah, they buff that melt right out. They take a look at the visual recording that T'Pol did somehow when this happened, and slow it down, and they realize that disturbance has a humanoid form and appearance, and Archer confirms that it is indeed Quinn, Emery's son. Subsequently, Archer confronts the doctor, and he admits everything and says they aren't there to test a new transporter. They're there to try to bring his son back. Apparently, they were testing the new transporter, and Quinn wanted to go through first as a test. He then mentions that the subquantum transporter is flawed and never work, and he knew that at the time that Quinn tested it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the dialogue was supposed to convey. I think he was trying to say that he feels like he knew it at some level in his head, but his own hubris wouldn't let him know it, I guess. I think he was trying to say that he feels responsible because he should have known better, and would have had he taken even a moment to think about it, but instead was so driven to make
Right.
this.
He was victim of his own prior successes
Right,
and always
right.
trying to do the next thing. So Dr. Erickson says that he is indeed trying to bring Quinn back. Archer doesn't believe him when he says he only needs one more scan, but he begs Archer to help him, who eventually caves, apparently, because the next scene we see Archer telling Trip and T'Pol to help Erickson. They are very rightly arguing with Archer about it. Like,
this is one of those things where it's like, I don't disagree with Trip and T'Pol, but like the dialogue's not good enough to make this make any fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause the argument's weirdly circular.
Yeah, I'm still on their side during this though, because
for
like
sure.
Archer turns into petulant Archer.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Wait,
unbearable.
the issue was like Trip and T'Pol are like, it killed a guy. We should probably not do that anymore. Strong argument. Archer's like,
strong argument. Archer's like, but
we're
like,
gonna.
But 15 years ago, this kid got teleported to nowhere here, so therefore, that's
It's very.
We got to do that.
Yeah. He's like, well, we're here. I mean, we might as well. Very sunk cost fallacy.
He's like, listen, I know this guy. I know he's done nothing but lie to us since he's been here, but I trust him.
It's like, look, but like, that guy's not getting any deader. So, like, what are we losing?
So Trip begrudgingly sits Emery in the transporter room, while Emery is just a gigantic shithead about it too. Like,
I was waiting for Trip to just
self-awareness at all.
I was just waiting for Trip to start putting shit on high shelves. I'm like, get that bitch, you fucking dick.
Because Emery is like not sorry that a guy died at all.
Not even a little bit. He's basically he basically says to Trip, I don't blame you for hating me, but you shouldn't because I'm better than you.
Yeah, he's like, I liked you better when you were worshiping me.
That's
Jesus
right.
Christ,
That's
man.
right.
Oh my god. He then weirdly reminisces about arguments with Quinn. Just like a very out of place line of dialogue.
Glad I killed that crew member of yours so I can go argue with my kids some more. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Trip's like, fuck you, guy. What are you telling me this for?
There's not an answer to that, by the way.
There's not. No, there's not. Danica goes to see Archer in his quarters. The goodest boy is still the goodest boy in Starfleet.
Okay. This is the moment where I was like, who fucking wrote this? Because, she goes to pet the dog. The dog kind of vaguely falls over.
Rolls over. Rolls over.
Just like a little bit. Not like it does a full rollover and hops to a backflip
just
or whatever.
Just shows its belly.
It just kind of falls over a little bit because that's what dogs do sometimes. And she's like, wow, he does have a lot of personality. Bitch, what the fuck are you talking about? It did the most basic dog thing ever.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the first dog she has ever experienced in her entire life.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. So Danica apologizes to Archer about the whole dead crewman guy. He, meanwhile, has his blinders completely on and just hopes that some good will come out of the situation. Danica wonders what Quinn's life is like being a distortion. Archer still blindly hopes everything will just work out.
Danica's like, boy, I wonder what it's like being fucking in limbo between life and death for all eternity.
Yeah, must be something. T'Pol goes to provide Trip with some data as an excuse to have a conversation between them. He talks about starting up a movie night again. And she says, "Nah, dog, I'm good."
What happened here? The writing, I'm not saying the situation is awkward and weird, that's fine, but the writing between these two also got shitty within an episode.
Yeah, so this is the B plot of the episode, but it's a very light B plot.
Yeah, it's like a B smattering.
Yeah, it's like an F plot.
It's like a B. It's not even a plot. It's a motif. It's a B motif. Yeah.
Trip says you should stop being a Bible nerd, and then they part.
Oh, that's right.
That's right, because she's reading the King James Vulcan Bible or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The Torah. Oh no, the Kirshura. That's what it is.
Yeah, she's reading the Syrup Night Bible. Yeah.
The Syrup Night Bible. Yeah. In the shuttle pod bay, Archer and Erickson are approached by Ghost Quinn. He walks through a wall. It explodes. I'm sure it's fine.
Listen,
Archer's decision is going well so far.
Right next to some torpedoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had Quinn hop skipped and jumped 2 feet to the left, we'd all be dead by now.
Yeah. Just in
was
a
a good
very
Trip
South
impression.
Florida accent. But yeah, Trip discusses repairs that result from that and how the whole ship would have blown up if he was like 2 feet to the right. Archer is still being an idiot about it and threatens Trip to get him to shut up about it. He's like, "You're this close to being insubordinate." I'm like, "No, he's this close to like convincing you to stop being a fucking moron."
Trip's like, God damn it, Captain, I don't understand. You're acting just like when you didn't want us stomping them babies. Like, what?
hey, you came around to Team Baby Stumper, okay? Archer goes to see Emery, and they have a brief, pointless conversation. Like, literally nothing happened at all.
So
I took
pointless.
no notes other than it was pointless. We cut to a new scene where they detect Quinn. They lock onto his signal and try to rematerialize him in the transporter, but they need more power, Captain. It sorts to start of work, and they get excited, but then immediately fails. We get some techno babble to raise the stakes of it a bit. Then Phlox says that he detects massive cellular degradation in Quinn, and he will die when he rematerializes. They go back and forth a little bit about bringing him back, and Emery doesn't want to, but then accepts his failure, and then materializes Quinn, and he dies after like 2 seconds.
Which, like, good. Thank you for
Yes.
killing him, because had you brought him
Yes.
back, I would have been even more fucking mad.
I agree, because that was definitely like felt like the way like it was going to go.
Right.
It'd be like make the episode much less impactful.
So instead of like, it would have been like, had he not died, everyone would have learned the wrong lesson instead of
Right.
just nothing happening, which is what ended
Right.
up happening.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, Archer goes to see Emery afterward, and they discuss the failure. Says he couldn't leave him like that, in limbo, and it sounds like we get some dialogue about Emery maybe going to jail after he gets back or something. I don't know.
You know, but, you know,
Ha.
it says that, but also he's like, I guess I should teach. Like,
Right, yeah.
yeah, I didn't, because I was like, oh, are we about to find out that Starfleet can just throw this random civilian dude in jail? Because that's going to be good fodder for me. But no, he's just like, Starfleet's not going to be too happy. I guess I'll go teach at a university or something.
So
like,
no
dude,
consequences. Woo!
You literally got a guy killed.
Yeah. So, yep, that's all fine, I guess. Phlox and Trip chat in sickbay. Oh, wait, no, not Trip. I have Trip here, but it was T'Pol. Phlox and T'Pol are talking in sickbay. Phlox ran some scans and says that she doesn't have Pinar syndrome anymore because, the Syrup Night Lady cured her of her Pinar syndrome. And I guess we get some dialogue about it all being, that happening all over Vulcan. People with Pinar syndrome are coming out and getting healed, and yeah, everything's great. T'Pol is re-examining her core beliefs and having trouble with it. So she goes to see Trip in engineering to talk about kind of what she's going through here. She's trying to figure out what it truly means to be Vulcan now by reading the Syrup Night Bible. She says she doesn't think there will be time for them at this point. Trip is also just a good guy here. It says, "Yep, I understand. That's fine."
Yeah, he's a good guy. He understands he's fine, but the dialogue is again so shitty that he makes like a terrible joke, and like it's carried off as if it's like this kind of charming joke, but it was just stupid.
I don't even remember the joke was.
The joke was, well, at least the engine still needs me.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, what the fuck kind of joke is that?
Yeah, it was dumb.
It was stupid, but like it's like the play, like the fun music starts up after that. Like it was like, the strip. Like it was just it was just I don't know I don't know who the fuck wrote this shit.
Yeah, so we cut to the transporter and the doctor saying goodbye. Offers some suggestions about upgrades for the ship to Trip. Which the whole departure scene seems like way too upbeat for the episode. Like, my son's dead and that guy died, but here's some upgrades for the ship.
Couldn't help myself.
Yeah. And then the episode ends. Just a weird ending to me. Like,
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. The tone shift from like, oh my God, my son is dead, because he holds his son while his son is dying.
Right.
To, well, that was fun. Thanks for the ride, everybody.
Was anyone else weirded out by the fact that the transporter, like, arguably one of the most dangerous pieces of technology on the ship, is just kind of in some random hallway.
It is
It
in a
is
weird
like in a
spot.
hallway.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah, it is weird. There's no room. I referenced a transporter room in my notes, but you're right. It is just like a hallway, and then there's like a transporter in the hallway.
It's a transporter nook. Like
Yeah. It's got a cool paint job on the walls.
They get the morning sun in there, so this is a really nice place to go transport.
Yeah. Well, that was the end of the episode. So on a scale of 1 to 5, where 0 is threshold, where are we at for this one?
Oh man,
oh boy!
I think I have to give it a 1. It just seemed so pointless, and like the dialogue was shit. The plot was tired. There wasn't anything interesting going on, like not even anything remotely interesting. There wasn't even any fake science. Like they just said quantum teleportation or transportation and then nothing. Like not even any techno babble. So like there's literally nothing in this episode worth my time.
Speaking of the quantum teleportation thing, by the way, they have that whole like kind of throwaway line about how it would never work, and they knew that. There's definitely like examples of long range teleportation in Star Trek on multiple occasions.
Yeah, but that doesn't use the sub-quantum version.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
I don't fucking know, man. It's made up.
Well, you get Q powers, you get disco fungus powers.
Well, there's like the Sicarians have what seems like a similar technology in Voyager.
Thing. That's the folding thing. That works completely different.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's totally different.
Yeah, no. See, like, so here's Chris. Let me explain this real quick. I can do it for you, and you'll understand. See, on a transporter, you step onto the pad, and then they engage it, and you go somewhere else. But on the Sicarian one, you step onto the pad, they engage it, and you go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But like further away.
There's a quantum panini press involved. It's very complicated.
Press.
There's a Dominion transporter that seems to be capable of carrying people over distances of several light years.
Dude, in the fucking Abrams movies, it just seems like all you have to do is plug the right math into a regular transporter, and that fucker could take you wherever you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as I say, in Star Trek, transwarp beaming enables people to be transported among the planets of a star system. There's also a couple examples of long-range alien transports in TOS as well. So, yeah.
I just had a really weird shower thought.
Okay.
Did you just take a shower right now?
No. This was just something that like you would normally think about in a shower. In the far future, when transporters are real, because that's definitely going to happen.
No, thank you.
Do you think that right-wing Americans will be against using transwarp transporters because it has trans in the title?
Shut the fuck up.
Shut fucking fuck.
Shit. All right. Well, okay. So Stanford's at a 1. Rob, what are you at?
Okay. So listen, I get what they were trying to go for here. There are 2 problems. One, Cobbs is completely unlikable through this entire episode.
Mm-hmm. Not like there's supposed to be like a sympathetic like angle to his character, and it just does not come across at all.
Man, and the only time there was any emotion, like Cobbs can act, so he's like holding his dying son and crying, and he's acting fine. But the problem is that he's across from Archer, who is doing a shit job giving a shit. He's just like, wow, that's your dead son that's dying in your arms right there. Sucks to be you, I guess. Let me know when you're done so I can get this body cleaned up.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I do not blame Cobbs for this at all. Like, he did a fantastic job playing the character they wanted him to play. The problem is that character was an insufferable asshole.
Prick?
And did not like it. Also, like, so I used to think that Stanford being scared of the transporter was silly. That was up until today when I learned that its creator was a pathological liar and monster of a human being. And I'm no longer
you're on board
pro transporter tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So thank you, Star Trek Enterprise, for ruining that for me.
Yeah, so we got to remember we were going to make those medical ID bracelets, the do not transport.
The DNTs,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm now
not
DNT.
transport.
I'm Team DNT. I'm hopping on the shuttle pod with Archer and Trip and calling it a day.
So what's your rating?
1. This was bad.
Damn.
It was not good.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. It's a 1. It was just a bad episode all around. Like the main plot was poorly done. The B plot or the F plot was just like nothing happened, and like it was more like a subplot that they used to carry forward. Or I don't, was this just like a wrap up of like Trip and T'Pol? Like, was that supposed to be what that was?
Fuck if I know, man. I can't tell what this episode was trying to do even a little bit.
Yeah, it's a 1. It's a 1.
Well, you see, when Daedalus' son flew too close
for
to the
fuck's
sun.
sake.
Hey, that's
Hey,
mini
don't
time. Shut
get
up.
ahead of the class. So, fun
Sorry.
fact, the only other episode that we have all rated a 1 to was Marauders. Okay?
It's up there, man. Like,
Wait, what about Cogenitor?
No, one of you motherfuckers gave Cogenitor like a 4. Where's Cogenitor? Cogenitor is right. Don't do this to me. Now I look like an asshole. I gave it a 0. Chris gave it a 2. You gave it a 1. So I guess on average it's a 1. But like,
yeah.
IMDb gave Marauders a 2. IMDb gave this episode a 1. Like, that's
Wow.
how bad Daedalus was.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Yeah, especially since Cogenitor IMDb gave a 3 to, or a 4? 4. So,
Wild.
yeah. Yeah. So this was a shit episode. I did not, like, because of how my day worked out, I was like watching it while I was folding laundry, so I didn't have a chance to take notes. Thank God this was the episode, because I did not need to take any fucking notes, because all I would have done was be angrily hammering, what are we doing here the whole time? Because it was just pointless.
Like, there wasn't even any, like, redeeming spots. Like, even, like, I feel like the bad episodes we've done on Enterprise, there's like, oh, yeah, this one thing was cool or funny or whatever.
No,
Not a single thing.
The only solid good, there's 2 characters that were gracefully in this episode. The one is the no-name guy who died because of a melted face, and the other was Quinn because he died as soon as he showed up, so that he didn't have to deal with this fucking embarrassment of an episode.
Well, with that said, when we come back, we will get to our deep dive for the episode. Welcome back, everybody. All right, so I figured for our deep dive, because the episode itself was shit, I would take a look at the namesake of it. So it is, of course, Daedalus, who is a figure in Greek mythology. Daedalus was an architect and craftsman who was kind of seen as a symbol of wisdom and knowledge. He was also the father of Icarus, the uncle of Perdix, and was a chief character in a couple different tales. Primarily, he was the designer of the labyrinth for King Minos of Crete, that had imprisoned the Minotaur, which, by the way, that whole thing, the whole story of the Minotaur is a very what the fuck kind of story.
Bananas.
So for those that don't know, I feel like I have to talk about it because it's so crazy.
I have some linguistical comments at the end of this too.
Yeah. So Daedalus created the labyrinth on Crete in which the Minotaur was kept. However, Poseidon had given a white bull to King Minos to use it as a sacrifice. Instead, kept
but the problem is that they gave him a sexy white bull.
The king kept the bull for himself and sacrificed another. As revenge, Poseidon made King Minos' wife, Pasiphae, want to fuck the bull.
Yeah. They didn't say it was going to be a sexy bull. Like, it was a conventionally attractive bull. So, like, what was she supposed to do?
Pasiphae asked Daedalus to help her. Daedalus built a hollow wooden cow covered in real cowhide for Pasiphae so she could mate with the bull.
I forgot that Daedalus had to build her like a bull fucking adapter. Like,
As a result, Pasiphae was successful and gave birth to the Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man but the head and tail of a bull.
Man, she must have been walking fucking hard for a couple of days after that, though. After she got split in twain by this fucking bull.
God damn. So
what the fuck what is wrong with the Greeks?
Solid question. King Minos then ordered the Minotaur to be imprisoned and guarded in the labyrinth that was built by Daedalus for that specific purpose. So Daedalus, a real bro for his wife, I'm gonna be honest. Like, if my wife came up to me and said, babe,
All right.
I won't fuck that bull.
It's not Daedalus' wife, it's the king's wife. Daedalus was the king's tinker.
You're right.
Yeah, no. If my friend came up to me and was, because I'm like real good with computers or whatever, like I'm real good with machinery, and my friend was like, yo, like, I'm going to show you a picture right now, and I need you not to like swoon, but check out this fucking bull, right? Have you ever seen a more fuck-worthy bull? I need you to help me fuck this bull.
So that's beside the point of the Daedalus story in relation to this episode.
So fun etymological facts about the Minotaur story, interestingly enough. And this is like the stuff that I use to point out how the Tamarians episode of Next Generation is kind of stupid when you think about it. The word labyrinth gets invented right here. It does not mean maze. The labyrinth is that thing that Daedalus built for Minos, right? Mm-hmm. So like, but because this story is so fucking famous in European culture, that's where the word labyrinth comes from. That's also coincidentally where the word mausoleum comes from, because of the mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Like, the mausoleum was not a thing that existed before that moment. That moment is the beginning of the term mausoleum. Cool. And a Minotaur sounds like it's like some kind of interesting like combination of words, because we eventually get centaur and shit. But nah, it's just the word Minos and bull, Taurus, like put together. Like it's fucking crazy how much like our language is basically just like Greek myths over and over again.
It's crazy. So perhaps the more well-known Daedalus story is that of his son Icarus. So after Theseus and Ariadne eloped together, Daedalus and his son Icarus were imprisoned by King Minos in the labyrinth that he had built.
Wait, was that Minos' wife?
No,
Theseus eloped with?
No, that's Pasiphae. I don't remember where Ariadne comes into this. Whatever, it doesn't matter to the point of my story. So anyway,
I was just going to make another bull fucking joke, so it's fine.
He couldn't leave Crete by boat, as King Minos kept strict watch on all vessels. And so instead, since he couldn't escape by land either, Daedalus decided to make some wings for himself and his son Icarus. Using bird feathers, some thread, and beeswax, he shaped them to resemble birds' wings. And they take off from Greece.
And
did they fly?
Fucking works.
Did they fly over New Jersey?
They didn't. They didn't make it that far. Daedalus warned Icarus not to fly too high because of the heat of the sun would melt the beeswax that held his feathers together.
I love how
nor to fly too low because the sea foam would soak the feathers and make them heavy and he would fall.
I like how this story, because like when you hear about Icarus flying too close to the sun, you think it's supposed to be a story about like how like it's like, dude, did you not think of that? But no, it's like your dad told you not to do that, and you're like, fuck that old man. What does he know about these things he invented?
Yeah. Yep. After Daedalus and Icarus had passed some fucking islands and shit, Icarus is so feeling himself. He's like, I'm just fucking keep going up, Dad. You can't tell me what to do. The sun then immediately melts the beeswax. Icarus, like a cartoon, flaps his wings, but he doesn't have any feathers, so he just plummets to his death. After he then plunges into the sea and drowns. Seeing Icarus' wings floating, Daedalus weeps, curses his own creation, and he finds his son's body on an island shore and buries him there.
Curses his own... What a fucking bro of a dad. To be like, I know he didn't do what I told him, but really it's my own fault for making these shitty wings that would worked perfectly as long as you did what I told him to do, but he didn't.
So there's also some some part afterwards where a partridge mocks Daedalus after he buries his son, which the partridge, I guess, is supposed to be this like nephew that he murdered before because he was like the nephew is also very smart and stuff, and like Icarus didn't like it. So
Jesus.
he murdered him. Or
Jesus
not
Christ.
Icarus, Daedalus. The Daedalus murdered his nephew. Yeah, and the I guess the fall and death of Icarus is seemingly portrayed as like punishment for the murder of Daedalus's nephew.
Do we have a report on how the partridge mocked that situation? Because it sounds like it's a funny fucking joke.
I didn't take notes of that in the research I did. No.
So
He's
more
like, I guess-
importantly,
Fuck dumbass.
who do you think Emery murdered in his earlier life that warranted this episode of Star Trek?
Well, it's Melted Face Guy, right?
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
I guess
partridge is like, well, I guess a stone will kill one human at least. Shit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is there's definitely some parallels in what they tried to do with the Daedalus Icarus story.
Yeah, the only parallel is that Emery's son died. That's
By his
the
invention.
parallel, right?
Mhm.
Like,
I
otherwise,
didn't say it was done well.
and otherwise, yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so hear me out.
Okay.
All right. Do you think that the Ronin Ghost episode of TNG was their take on the Minotaur myth?
No, only because she did not require like Geordi to make a fake ghost for her to be so that she could get fucked by it.
Oh god,
That whole Minotaur town, man, it's just fucking wild.
I feel like there needs to be a Lower Decks episode like that.
I forgot about that. And now that you've said it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what fucking happened. I completely forgot. Fucking Greg's,
well,
man.
That wraps up my deep dive. When we come back, we will get a little potpourri from Rob.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So earlier this week, we got a new trailer drop for Section 31, the upcoming Star Trek movie that Stanford is definitely very excited for. So yeah, we're what we're gonna do tonight for Potpourri is we're gonna watch the trailer and then get our instant reactions to it. All right, so we're gonna take a little breather here, and we'll be back after we've watched it together.
Oh, we're not gonna like live.
No,
react
I'm
to
gonna
it?
live comment this shit, man. Fuck this
Oh.
goddamn trailer. I already hate
All
it.
right.
I haven't even started it yet.
All right, well then go ahead and start it up.
And I have to watch it twice because I'm gonna have to record it later. Fucking thing. All right, here we go. Start with a fucking flower.
Yeah, it's a space station, as it turns out.
This is a very
hey, it's-
Star Wars bar.
It's very like this that Last War guy with the black and white
What are you
face.
doing in my space
yeah.
station?
I'm giving you a chance to get back in on the action on a galactic scale.
What a cute idea.
I still love
God.
her.
She's a good actor. I like Michelle
Is
Yeoh, but what a
annoying.
shit
What
character.
I'm dealing with.
We're facing a threat unlike anything Starfleet's ever seen.
Another one.
Billions of lives are at stake. Gather your people. We're gonna need every one.
All right,
of
I'm not gonna turn down the sexy black guy.
31 is a
though.
Black Ops division. Spy work.
them. It's just a place for people to bend the rules.
Starfleet
What
is here
the
to
fuck?
make sure no one commits murder.
What was that suit, man?
It was Star-Lord.
Whatever you believe
Star-Lord
Generation
armor.
was, is worse than you thought.
I like how they're making it. They fight in the shadow. Shut the fuck
How do you
up.
stop it?
They're like making it look like it's like the Suicide Squad.
Then don't
Yep.
get dead. I'll try my hardest.
No, I do like that guy, by the way.
Star Trek Suicide Squad. That's amazing.
You don't answer her questions directly, she will punch you in your face. What?
You said that she was going to be doing the face punching.
I lied.
He looked like he looked like he had a very unpunchable face. If I'm honest.
I have a little bruise in my hands.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We survive together.
God.
Oh, so this is like a straight to streaming thing. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, they're
it
not putting
doesn't
that
look
fucking
bad.
shit in the theater. All right, here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. Like, it looks fine. Because, it's an action-y, heisty, modern day action flick. It's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
It's
there's going
just
to be
a
fun
dumb
special effects.
concept.
There's going to be chases.
Yeah, there's going to be explosions and quips. Plenty of quips. It's just going to be fine. It's just what's the point of it? But the concept is the fundamental concept of Section 31 is dumb. And the goddamn concept of the Empress character is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have two problems with this. One, I don't want to be that guy that's I just want my Star Trek to always be happy and uplifting and have a positive outlook on the future. I don't need that
at all.
It feels like they're like, you know what? Rogue One did well. Let's make Star Trek Rogue One.
Right, but
Rogue One was analytical and philosophical. It wasn't.
I agree.
Action.
I'm just saying that seems like the thought
vibe.
process for this.
Yeah, they wanted to make Andor, and they just came out with edgy Star Trek.
Right.
I don't know.
I don't even know. Is this edgy? It's just pop action. It's like a Dwayne Johnson movie.
But the point is, this is supposed to be Section 31, right? They're the guys that break all the rules, and they make the tough decisions and do what's needed, even though the whole point of Section 31 being in Star Trek is that they don't really need it. It always causes problems.
It's they're the bad guy when they show up.
Right. They always play an antagonist in everything.
But not in
not
Picard.
Meant to be.
Well, actually, so no, not in Picard. In Picard, Section 31's all sexy and stuff.
Oh,
They are. I don't even remember Section 31 in Picard.
Dorn, Worf is Section 31 officer.
Oh, he's supposed to be Section 31?
Yes, and then at the end, Raffi is Section 31.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
I agree, but that's how it is.
Are they just trying to...
I feel like Section 31, and that was just shorthand for undercover.
I don't know. Section 31 is supposed to be I don't know. I don't know what the fuck any of these people were thinking. Because even in the earlier days of Section 31, in other episodes of Star Trek, it was stupid. It's a stupid concept. Why the fuck does Starfleet have this? If you want to tell me the Federation has something different going on, fine. But it doesn't make any fucking sense for Starfleet to have Section 31.
Listen, sometimes you just need to do some war crimes and be able to, pretend that you didn't do it.
Yeah, you sure do. That's why we have the CIA to do the war crimes, not a different part of the army. That's not how it works.
People love watching movies about the CIA.
You're not wrong. But my point is that, Section 31 belonging to the literal Navy doesn't make any fucking sense. If the Federation wants an intelligence organization, that's fine, but why would it be a part of Starfleet?
But Starfleet isn't a military.
Well, that makes it even less make sense. There are several core concepts in Star Trek that are so fucking stupid that it boggles the mind that anyone came up with them. Gold pressed latinum is one, Section 31 is another.
Yep.
So
anyways, I'm gonna watch it and I'm probably gonna like it. It's gonna make me angrier too.
Yep, I agree. Like I said, it's gonna be a fun action movie set in the Star Trek universe. That's it.
Sure. It better be fun.
I saw several drones in there. I'm gonna call the government. So many quips. God, I love a good quip.
Who doesn't like a good quip?
Cool quip.
I don't know. I feel like somebody saw the latest D&D movie and went we could do that.
Oh man, there were so many quips in that movie.
So many quips.
So many good quips, though.
God, such a good quippy movie.
You know, it's funny, Rob, you said that because as we were watching that trailer, it just looked very okay, this is how they get the party together. It's anymore, I just see all right, what's your episode 1 or session 1 to see how all the explorers, all the adventurers end up together. What bar are they in?
Yeah, there's going to be a tavern. There's going to be a heist at some point. Like there's clearly a casino involved in this movie in some way, shape, or form.
There's got to be a casino. Come on.
There has to be. And then at the end, they're all gonna almost die, but survive some crazy explosion, and it'll be fine.
And
say
then
And then they
realize
laugh.
that it was the friends they brought along way.
And the quips they made.
This will be where the Empress finally admits that she needs a friend.
She's a fucking therapy. Or maybe we don't rehabilitate straight up genocidal maniacs. I don't know.
Maybe.
Like, I can't even find it in myself to give a shit about just a health insurance CEO being gunned down on the street. Why the fuck do I have any interest in a literal genocidal maniac as a character? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? God, I hate her character so much.
Because her dimensional alternate was a very strong mother figure to one of the main characters of the show.
Shut up.
That show's next, too, and I'm going to be so fucking mad to get there.
Yeah. So anyway, you guys have anything else you'd like to add in?
Chris,
No.
drop a quip.
No.
Oh,
right.
good one.
As Chris mentioned at the top of the pod, please remember to rate and review us on your podcast supplier of choice. Yeah, thanks for joining us for another week of Captain's Log Supplemental, and we'll catch you next time.
Have a good
night,
holiday.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Merry Christmas. And Happy Hanukkah.
Thanks for listening to Captain's Log Supplemental. You can follow us on Twitter at PodCLS or send us hate mail at podcls3@gmail.com.